this is another chapter of bad fan fiction. I've never heard of this fanfic. I'm not gonna be on it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never actually heard of this fanfic. I don't read a lot of Harry Potter. I've never really been too big on the fandom, you know, and stuff like that. The most I know is that fanfic that I shall never ever do, and the one that shall not be named. This is a very from reading about it, I don't really understand what it's about, so I don't know what to expect, and that's all I'm going to tell you. This is not going to be like a Special Truth where I rambled on and on, because to be honest, I'd read a Special Truth before. However, with this one, I don't actually know what I'm getting myself into. This has about 8 chapters, however, they don't look that long, so let's go. So we're going to like do this now. It's gonna be fun. I'm sure it's not that bad. Right. Dobby relished his growing thaw. Okay, I take back what I said. If but that does win like best opening line to a fanfic ever. As he withdrew the choked blade from the astronaut's ruined skull. Why are they on space? He turned to Harry, thrusting his bloody Rentana-covered pelvis with elfin flavor. How does Ronnie Ron feel, Master? Harry spat out his eyeball. Like some kid with eyes. Dobby ducked an astronaut's poison-barbed fist, digging his groin saw into the beast's abdomen, letting the spray of Verscera wash over his Alphian space armor. The skull's eye sockets, even, on his shoulder grew brilliant with eternal cast and vomited a bolt of lightning through an astronaut. He was thrown back against the death wall, his flesh boiling another dimension. Harry slapped Dobby, who giggled. Harry reminded himself to kill himself later. Master, look out! Dobby's groin saw screamed as it flew off the armor, rocketing through the air like an early dream of mankind. It flew through three astronauts, who dropped their health spears as the saw cut a hole in the ground beneath them. So they fell to hell, and demonic spheres rape them to this day, boys and girls. No. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. What the fuck is going on? Now, the importance of a first chapter is to let the reader know, you know, like get the reader interested. And this fanfic has actually succeeded in that. I'm interested to see what's going on, because this is bizarre. I've never read a fanfic with where I'm just reading words and they're not really coming together. They're really short chapters, I'm assuming. Like, hopefully we'll manage to get through all of them. But, wow, I really want to know what's going on. It's fucking weird, and, okay, I don't really have any words, I'm so sorry. Right. Now Dobby. Dobby kneeled before his master. Harry withdrew his guitar, Fuckslayer, from a dimension where all scream for naught. Wrought from the silver heart out of the heavens, false promise, laced with vessel that pulsed with angels' menstruation blood, hewn with the horns of Satan's generals. It laughed as it was set loose, a laugh that Harry could only Harry could hear, but no one could share. Harry swung the guitar through Dobby's chicken neck, and he took a head of his fallen dwarf slave, tore open his stomach, stuffed the head inside. Harry vomited steam and summoned a great meteor from space to smash into Hogwarts and kill everyone there for no apparent reason, you know. A vision then appeared. It was Dumbledore, entombed in his cursed mummy armor, calling Harry from his moon base, which wasn't on the moon. Makes sense. Harry, you must rock the fuck out. Harry channeled his rage for Fuckslayer. The angel blood boiled as he summoned his great meteor, swatted with the blood of the tiny fucklings at Hogwarts, leapt onto it and flew into space. He encased the entire meteor in a wreath of holy fuck fire and flew through Mercury, killing the fuck out of it. Then he sent Mercury's Carsium into Venus. I'm reading this and I'm not even paying attention to what I'm reading now. I don't know what's going on right now. I've completely lost what's going on right now. Killing the fuck out of it and making every vagina in the galaxy explode, and inside every vagina a bloody song of mortal life's fleeting parasite. Harry then did fly his meteor through space, punching astral vampires in half with his fists, encased in fuck fire, and throwing their ruined heads into the past where they bit cavemen on Mars. So that changed history, and now there are vampire cavemen on Mars. Harry received another vision from Dumbledore. I'm guessing that's Dumbledore, who was having tea and crumpets with the president of Pengaia. Care to have tea, Harry? You know how I hate crumpets. Harry slammed his book shut. It wasn't really a book because the pages were made of lasers and the words were made of headless women making godless love to dragons made out of motorcycles, but it was still reading. Gumbledorp is basically going to do the same thing that fanfic that we do not speak of, that Harry Potter fanfic that is evil, did, and just misspelled Dumbledore's name every chapter. Okay, Dumbledore, if you don't stop, will starve, and no one will be around to kill everyone in the universe if we get around to bringing everyone back from the dead after we killed them. I am no longer Scumblegort. The ancient man dropped some of the planets he was juggling. What the fuck is going on? The worlds have shifted. I am Dumblecop, the Dark Meal. He flexed one of his legs to show it was made out of pistols, and kicked a planet in half. Bugger, you Dark Meal, faggot, farget 1,000 suns. Dumblecop sniffed. And what of it? Is it sin? Should a man feel like faggot in the sun or 1,000? Why should the suns heave through the void, if not to be screwed upon our fag poles? Harry cast a glance to the book. Unsavory sounds emanated from a particular damn chapter. He was hungry. He looked at a nearby cup. It had faded brown foam at the bottom. He thought a chimpets. I really don't understand what the fuck is actually going on. Does this have a plot? Does it have a plot? Okay, Harry found some food. It was guarded by 3,000,000 surf ninjas, for it was the last food on Surf Ninja Moon X. The ecology had been decimated by surf ninjas, so the last food was cabbage and mustard sandwich. Oh, that's gross. Harry squatted in the ruins of a castle when had been many skulls arranged to resemble one large one. It had been poorly done, with cheeks fading into an amateurly executed jawline. The silent killers of the night had negated their inert advantage by only prying on their craft on surfboards during the day. Harry was about to eat his cabbage when a man in tuxedo appeared from behind. Nothing at all. He stood 10 feet tall, and his head seemed to be wrapped in unwrappable darkness. I am Rape Radbert. What the fuck is this? I write critically acclaimed fiction that always turns into facts. That's why I have more money than anyone. Harry dug a bit of cartilage out of the cabbage wedge and continued chewing. Would you care to discuss one of my books? I hear that my... Harry fished out a bit of cartilage. It was a cartilage and mustard sandwich. I thought it was a cabbage and... You shouldn't believe what everyone says about me. I took a shower with my cousin once, and I have racist thoughts. A niblet of yellow cartilage landed on Rape's shoe. He thought about his cousin. Oh, this one's a really short one. The Inquisitors were torturing Harry. First, Ignatius used the rock. Then Billy asked Harry if he wanted to read his BDSM blog. Harry was so surprised that his pants flew right off. He was wearing women's underwear. The Inquisitors were wearing them too. They all realized that they were all men of the Lord. Oh, this is the longest one. Harry awoke the throaty grumble of a rape ape. Not a rape ape, but the rape ape. Oh, this has a lot of the word rape. Trigger warnings! After the subjugation of the rape forest, his people were once gracing canopy, their penile digits proudly gasping at the vines as they swung through the night. Their hundreds of sweaty cinnamon dongs trailing a now fetid memory in the rape ape's watering eye, as his ocular dust began to well with the ancestral pride. So too did the countless meaty members sprouting from the rape ape's every hairy inch. From his eye sockets, each hole, even his calloused toes, a penile front of cry juice birthed a delunge. Harry observed this with consternation as he was tied to a table. What the fuck? It just keeps... Do you know what the problem is? It just keeps introducing new things and just doing ever so... not making a big... It's I don't even know what's wrong with this fic. I can't even pinpoint it down. It's just random. That's all I can say, is random. Neither magic nor super cosmic strength would free him from his bonds. Had this creature accessed his unknown material of destic strength, or did the rape ape have a secret yet more baffling? Harry squinted so he could see the subatomic strings of the rope. He began tossing antimatter at them with his mind as a group of children entered the rape ape's hiding place. They were well groomed and impeccably attired, and there were 5.8 of them? Well, was there just one that had its legs chopped off or something? Or more like its feet, because it's 5.8. Just enough to represent an array of genders and races that would leave no one happy. No one unhappy, yep. Fanfic thinking about you and your race. Save for the Eskimos. They were on their own, as far as the rape ape was concerned. Why do you cry, ape rape? Asked child 3.2. I don't know. What the 3.2? What did it have? Is it just a head now? The rape ape, unwilling to hide its greasy primate cock tears, hung its head, and gravity coaxed the eye wangers downwards. It tied them together into a bow atop its head, to be pretty for its guests. We are bound in Lyncher of Lingam, brother ape rape ape, said child 4.6. This one really just has it's like up to its knees. It's been cut off. Like, all these children are amputees. That is basically what this fanfic is. It's amputees talking to a rape ape. The children surrounded the ape rape, holding their hands and beginning to sing. Oh, I even forgot Harry was in this chapter. Harry was transfixed as he watched the children gently swaying as the song float skyward. The little ones began to orbit the rape ape, who was convulsing as though stricken by a seizure devil. As the song increased in tempo, the child flesh bubbled and merged into the spinning wonder turbine. The fleshy kid mask sprouted hair and growing dribbles just like the rape ape, and sprayed confetti into the skies of the past and future, setting the constellations aflame with the opalescent of the perished rape apes. The explosion of colour and hair left Harry alone and spellbound. He thought about sandwiches. Harry Potter awoke in a pit that reeked of hot sauce. He could feel vision's fluid under his fingernails, burning the tender skin. Everywhere were white bags bulging with foul product. There were diapers stuffed with chicken bones and hot sauce in their foul order blossoming in the muffled dark. Harry's nostrils begged his brain for mercy. He flew upwards, away from the saucy mysteries below. The smell grew faint, calling him to return. Harry ignored their lies, flying beyond the lips of his prison. He was in a laboratory with machines that had no purpose beyond blinking lights and soft hums. Hello, my boy, you make a father so good. Harry had flown out the nose of an old man. This man wore a white coat, yet was drawn by the hand of an idiot. His voice came not from his mouth, but from somewhere else, a sad attempt of humanity. I know you'll do well, so now you'll choose. The man reached into his coat and laid out 3 diapers, each brimming with the spicy bones and the nose prison. He removed his head and for fuck's sake. Oh, this is so surreal. It's like an artsy film. Like, where everything is just surreal. It's just so unnatural and weird. To keep it from rolling away. The diapers began to stir as creatures clawed out of bony wombs. Arrayed before Harry was a turtle, the reptilian boy so fragile it seemed an outward to its spell, a bald weasel with toothpicks for legs and a wrinkled thumb in the water. The man's head called out from the spike. Everyone has one. Make your best friend for life. Harry drank the glass of thumb water and spat out the thumb at the old man's head. This makes no sense. This is a long chapter. Severus Snapplebottom began his life as a hand on which were perked of 5 first presidents of the country called America. The first 2 presidents, Gieb and Swoshna, were turned into ashes by passing waves of fast food regulation. Their ashes were consumed by children in various Wendy establishments. Each plastic packet was a coffin for their memory, and no one knew their name, even though they were listed on the ingredient list. These children became soldiers in wars, fought for control of who had the bullets. Whoever shot the most bullets, the fastest won. The third president, Walhule, went to the country that was nothing but desert with half-buried turkeys. What the fuck? Sometimes turkey butts were above the sand, sometimes a leg or a hand or a head. Walhule tripped and fell into the turkey head, where he was eaten and ordained as a rabbi. He was sent to trim the beards of 57 toads, whose beards were absorbing the water that was used for next year's crop shovels. Without these shovels, the peasants would be unable to shovel the ashes of their children from bullet wars. Wooly took these beards and formed a lasso. The lasso was ropey wonder. He used it to tear off his This fanfic, I'm not even joking, this fanfic just writes itself. It's actually drains you of humour. You actually just don't know what to say. It's just, I've never read anything like this in my life. Like, I've read bad fanfics. I've read an E.T. fanfic where E.T. fucks the main character. I've read a fanfic where Snape has sex with the Teletubbies. I've read Special Truth. I've read every Hamo Hamster fanfic. I have read so much shitty fanfics, you would not believe it. But this one takes the shitty cake. But you know what? It makes me want to read on. But this fanfic, it just... I don't even know what to say. He used it to tear off his penis and write the 13 commandments of the America upon a passing eagle in cock's blood. 1. You're stupid. 2. Baby, someone cut off my dick and wrote an America on it. 3. If a whale tries to sell you pumpkins, don't. 4. Your head is an arc file. Throw it away, but don't let anyone see you do it or you'll be kicked out of school. 5. Always collect ghost shadows. If it leaves one behind, it would be worth something one day. 6. Starbucks napkins are nearby the new currency, but only after they are smeared upon the corpse of a mule. The exchange rate will be 13 rubles to 1 napkin. 7. Taxi cabs will be used to build pyramids with 290 sides. It will be the White House, and the president will live there for 17 years at a time, while you eat your children's ashes on a bun. 18. Father's Day. You will enter an invisible box and be plunged into the ocean. There you will enter the undersea candy store, but you will not have enough Starbucks napkins to get what you want. 9. It is all spam, all of it. Check the box and delete it. Now delete yourself, for you are spam. 10. All clocks will be inscribed entirely in the alphabet to save time. This is the alphabet. 6 plus 7, A. 14 times 12, B. 6, take away 11 to 2 equals President Walhule, and so on until you reach the period, the end of the alphabet. I don't fucking know. 11. All previous consultations were wrote even by false writers, though whose passing eagles were inferior to and whose cocks had fewer things in them, except only the American Constitution. 12. Spend your adolescence as a duck, waddling in circles until you become an egg full of dust. 13. All time is a knotted ball. You can hide it anywhere in your body, and it is still time. President number 4, whose name was not a name, but a multitude of hot dogs in the shape of swastikas, decided he would create the Gilded Age. This was a time in which every edgy was embossed with golden trim like a wedding cake invented by Thomas Edison. All the women wore bonnets made of butter and were picked off their feet and spread onto toasts in the summer. It was all for naught, because it was not the toast of the righteous, it was a feeble toast, one which withered with the coming sun. Not even the crows would touch it, preferring the taste of moulded poop water, but the crows were put in dresses and sold to the highest bidder, and where they went under light production. President Five disliked the conservative of learnings of his brother, so he became an infinite two-dimensional grid of pink and green squares. Each square had a vagina upon it. I've never read anything like this in my life. I'm just going to put that out there. I've never read anything like this in my life. And the problem I'm having with this is it just like sucks your humor right out of you. It's doing the writing for itself. I don't need to make the jokes. The jokes are in the passage. It's just hard to make jokes from something that's already so jokey and weird. These vaginas were emanated of the speed of light, which was skewered an endless succession of planets. Each carried a culture dedicated to a single sex act. The further the skewer the planet was, the more Orpheus possessed by its descendants, and more gymnastic their sexual culture. The worlds. Look, my cats came to see us. Say hi, Sassy. Oh, my cat loves me. She hates me, really. Okay. Well, this is not a long chapter. No, this is not a long chapter. Harry Potter lay dreaming. In his mind there was a hat, suspended. It comes unhinged, travelling beyond the dreams. The hat finds a sunlit hill, studded with flowers, and children gorging themselves on chocolate. Chewing faces are speared with brown stewed. Perched atop of the hill on its brim, the hat is still. It rolls down the hill, skating between the chocolate-stuffed children. It comes to one child and stops. Without chocolate, the child stares blankly at its neighbour, filled with emptiness. The hat points its empty bottom at the child and sprays a glittering beam of rainbows. The encircled child's hand, transforming them into chocolate. Tears of joy streak down the child's smile as it begins eating its hands. The hat flies into the sky. The child waves a brown stamp. The hat ascends into the palace of clouds. Within, God, beard and weeping, sits beside a mountain of tiny angels. One by one, he picks them up and tears off their rings. He then places them into separate baskets. The hat approaches God, and the rainbow is displayed. It encircles God's crotch. A giant chocolate phallus emerges from God's robes. Dropping his broken angel, he breaks off a piece of his candy member. And smears it on his lips. With a chocolate-studded smile, he slowly raises his fist, giving the hat a thumbs up. The hat travels into space. It finds itself before the sun. It is a tiny dot before the immensity of the cosmic fire. The hat trembles. A tremendous rainbow issues forth, imbalancing the sun like a wedding vow. The fire cools and deadens. A chocolate tidal wave roars from its poles and meets at the center. On Earth, the sky blackens. The flowers turn to dust. Humanity expires silently, like a faint infant in its crib. The hat drifts through space, dreamless. I really should end the video here because I actually have not really much to say. There was no plot. I don't think that's the main concern though about this fanfic. I don't think there needed to be a plot. It was, like, my problem is that it, like, a lot of people are saying it's so bad it's good, but my problem was that as it started getting on, onto it, and the novelty was starting to wear off of it, and I was beginning to find it quite boring, mainly because I didn't understand what was going on. It's I've never read anything like that in my life. It's like an artsy film, like, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of Flowered Vomit Dolls, but that's kind of an obscure one. I don't really understand what was going on. Wow, I actually have no words. There were a lot. It's actually not that badly written, although I don't know if groin, saw, and rape, ape, and stuff like that were meant to be intentional. By the looks of things, this fic was probably intentionally meant to be like this, but it might not have been. Hardly Harry Potter, hardly fanfiction. I mean, I mean Harry Potter, and it's weird thinking about this, because if you even look at the actual, like, the rating bit, fiction T, which I don't think should have been a T. Apparently it's angst and romance. I don't know. And apparently Bellatrix and Seamus was meant to be in this. I don't fucking know. So yeah, it's a really weird fanfic, and I feel like this should be in bizarre fanfic, but it's it's a bad fanfic in my eyes, but I think it's intentionally meant to be bad. That's all I really have to say. As I said, it sucked humour right out of you. It writes itself. You can't come up with jokes that are more funnier than the text, really. Gotta say I love you. Bye bye.